I'm going to walk you through the process to replace the brake light, the upper brake light right there for an Infinity G35X. The only way to get at the upper brake light is through the trunk. Using a small screwdriver, the first step is to remove the upper carpet by popping the plastic fasteners and removing all of them from For the 2004 G35X, there's a total of 6 fasteners. 1 goes there, 2 over here, 3 next to the light, 4, 5, and 1 right under here, which is 6. After all 6 fasteners have been removed, you can start to peel the carpet back, but be careful because you don't want to rip the adhesive off of the trunk. After the upper carpet has been removed, you can take a look at some of the internal speaker system, and then of course right next to the what looks like the bass subwoofer, there's this insulated piece with a connector. That is your upper brake light. Using that same screwdriver, you need to disconnect the connector by pushing on the tab. After the connector has been removed, the next part is probably the toughest. There's a bunch of insulation that is built up in there. I don't know if it's sound insulation or heat insulation, but basically you got to kind of tear it off because it's more or less glued to the plastic, and there's a bunch of it. After the insulation's removed, there's 2 screws that need to be removed in order to get the LED assembly out of the housing. 1 screw is there, right there, which is easy to get with a screwdriver. The other one's tucked up way over here, and there's no hole to get at that. So you need to use a special screwdriver to get at that screw in order to remove it. In the end, it's this screw and this screw here that need to be removed. Depending on your issue, you may have to replace the circuit board associated with this part, which can be pretty expensive. Another option is to just desolder certain components on the circuit board and replace those. But either way, after you've replaced the circuit board and put it back in the housing, the light, the LED housing needs to actually get reinstalled. My suggestion is to connect it, put the connector back, because in my case, I think I had a loose connection, which is why mine didn't work. But I would suggest connecting the LED housing and testing the brakes before you actually put the assembly back. When you do go to install the LED housing, you need to pull on this in order to slide it through. And then my suggestion would be to only put 1 Phillips head screw back on the side that's accessible when you do reinstall the housing. If you feel like tucking the insulation back in after you've connected the assembly at the electrical connector, feel free to do so. And then before you put that top rug back in place, I would suggest testing it one more time to ensure that the light works.